Welcome to the Business Spotlight series. My name is Everardo Resendiz. People know me around here as Coach Ever. I am a certified executive and business coach with Action Coach in Northwest Louisiana. Today, I have Rowdy Coffman with Hair Restoration Solutions as my guest, and we're going to be talking about the business, the journey to business ownership, challenges, best practices, what works well, et cetera, and maybe take a peek into what it's really like to build and operate a business. If this is your first time on the channel, please be sure to like and subscribe to get notifications when we drop conversations just like this one. And so, Rowdy, welcome and thank you for being here today.
Hello, how are you doing? It's good to be here.
It's amazing sometimes how on a Friday morning when it's sunny outside, we're here stuck in a Zoom meeting, huh?
That's right. I should be fishing.
We should be out fishing. So, would you share with us and the audience, a little bit of the business, a background of yourself and the business itself?
So we provide medical offices with hair loss solutions. So we provide them with hair transplant technicians. If they're doing hair transplants, we provide them with products for hair loss, hair loss treatments is the best way to put it. On the distribution side, we're a one-stop shop for plastic surgeons and med spas and stuff like that. So
Oh, very interesting. So you don't provide the treatment yourselves, you provide it through other people?
I do provide the treatment myself when I can, most of the time. But if there's conflict on my schedule, I will send some employees to go and do the
Love
surgery.
it. So that means that anybody that has a plastic surgery office or a plastic surgeon or a med spa will be able to provide these services by working with you.
Yes.
I love it. That's great. It's a good way to leverage. And so set the stage for the viewers or the listeners. What does your current ownership structure look like? Are you the sole owner? Do you have any
I
partners
am
in
the
this?
I am the sole owner. Right now we have 8 employees. Um, I am the sole owner, but my wife is the boss. So, but we have 8 employees right now. We're scheduling anywhere from 12 to 13 surgeries a month, plus the distribution side of things, which I try to have at least 5 or 6 appointments a week that I can go and try to distribute products.
Love it. And so, how did you get into these in the first place, Rowdy?
So I was in the Navy and I got out of the Navy and I couldn't find a job that I liked. I was a corpsman and I was working in ERs and nursing homes and stuff like that. And I just really didn't care for that. That's a calling more than a job, I guess. And so I started a carpet cleaning business and I cleaned a doctor's office that was doing these surgeries. And he was an old military guy. And he said, "Hey, we're doing these surgeries. Do you want to come in and try them?" And I went to work for him, and here I am. So
So, how long ago was that?
that was 32 years ago.
So, how long has this business been in operation?
I've been in business for myself for 16 years. I went from that office into working for bigger companies and doing hair research and all that kind of stuff. But I went to working for big companies, and um, I went from there. I got a lot of experience doing that. So
Okay. Okay. And so, that's excellent, Rowdy. When you look at your role and the things that you still do some of these treatments and you do the distribution part of it, right? Um,
yes,
is it like when you think about the growth, the potential growth of your business, how much of your role is in the production side of things? How much is it on the other parts, the planning of the business, the acquiring new um, people, acquiring new techniques? Is there like a percentage that you designate
it's
for each
it's
one?
it's 100% me. So I read, I watch videos. I do everything I can to learn, and that includes the sales part of it. Everything I do, everything I possibly can to
Keep it
to
up.
to
So
get better at what I do.
that is awesome. So the production part is something that you're very involved in. Um, so let's move on to what makes your business so special, right? So are you a unique provider for these treatments? Are there other people in the marketplace offering the same thing?
Yes, I am very, as far as I know, I'm the only company, we are the only company that offers the distribution side, the the surgical side also. So if 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 you need any type of help with hair loss, we have the answer for it. And that goes for, like I said, all the way from plastic surgeons to med spas to everybody. So even general practitioners who treat hair loss in their offices.
So those who will compete with you will compete to one of those things, not both of them.
Correct.
Awesome. Okay, and so what's one thing that you wish more people knew about your business?
I wish they knew more about the treatments for hair loss. Hair loss is now an option. So if you know it, there's so many treatments out there now that will at least stop your hair loss that aren't very expensive. You know, surgery is not the answer always, but with there's so many treatments out now that's just impossible. If you don't want to lose your hair, you won't lose your hair. Put it that way.
I
So on
love
the
the way you
treatment.
put it. Hair loss is optional. That must be your tagline now.
No, but I thought of that. I got a couple of them. So
And so, well, that leads me into the marketing, which is something that most businesses realize is key to their development, right?
yes.
Finding the new opportunities, finding those new clients, getting the message out there. And so I'm always curious what successful business people do. Um, is it a systematic approach? Do we have a budget for it? Does it relate to the sales that you do? How do you go about putting the marketing together?
So the marketing, it's really funny. So when I first started, I had no idea what I was doing. So I literally would go to a city and I would take the phone book out of the hotel and I'd bring the phone book home and I'd flip through it and I'd start calling everybody in the phone book. And then I could finally afford a computer. So searches got a lot easier, but I am still 100% believe in meeting people and going the phone route. But we do have a website that we use. It's hairrestorationsolutions.com. Um, and I don't allow a great budget for it because if I get too busy, then I've got 50 people working for me, and I just don't want to be that big. If that makes sense. I mean, it'd be great, but I just don't. I'm happy where I'm at. I'll put it that way. So
And so, so you have a number of studies that are in place and are working, and they bring you enough business for you to maintain, perhaps grow a little bit slower. Um, of all these things that happen, is the going, generating an appointment, sitting with somebody, the best way that you have found to get
that
business?
that I find the best way. Um, with all the options out there now, LinkedIn and everything like that. There's no, I do use LinkedIn a lot, but I don't push my website as much as I probably should. But about 5 years ago, I had to shut my website down because one, I was getting too busy, and two, I was getting phone calls from patients that weren't mine that were calling me
Oh,
for advice, and so it was.
it's a
I just had to shut it
capacity
down,
issue.
and that's you just don't want to do that. That's kind of you don't
It
want to treat
becomes a
other people.
capacity issue. If you are very successful at marketing, then you have a problem with the amount of people that you can actually serve. But
Yes,
there are ways to go about it. We can probably talk about it later. Anyway, what approach have you taken to tracking your leads? Do you have a CRM?
I have a CRM. I track my leads three different ways. I write them down in a notebook, and then I transfer my notebook to the CRM. Then I print my CRM up once a month and check off. go through calls, and then go back to the CRM and enter it in all on the computer. So it's CRMs are very important to keep track of, and I use it as many ways as I can.
Well done. Well done. Excellent. Excellent. And so, we spent some time talking about a little bit about the things that you do to bring business and the things that you're doing, how the business works. I'd love to take a step back and dive a little bit into the journey. Okay. So, as you look at your journey so far, what has been the most memorable roadblock or hurdle that you were challenged with that you had to overcome?
Um, Starting out. So when I first started, it was I quit my jobs and I said I'm going to do this, and I went, man, 4 or 5 months without anything, and God bless my wife. She took a job at a restaurant to keep us afloat, and then one day it just clicked, and I got one call, and then a week later I got two calls, and they were all just started calling back, and it just snowballed from there.
Rowdy, you will tell me if this isn't true, but um, the majority of people that I see in business, it, it, when you start bringing your offering to the marketplace, it's like an oil tanker. It takes time for it to gain momentum, and it's the difficulty is to get to the place where it really starts moving, right?
Yes.
Um, so I can relate to that. I'm same. I had very similar experience. It changes at some point. You say it clicks and things start happening. Now they don't suddenly become like you're there, right? But you start seeing the signs, and if you can keep that going, then you'll get to the other end. Thank you for
Yes.
that. That's very good for most people that are listening to this. Now, let's fast forward and look at what comes next. Like, where do you see the business going the next 3 to 5 years?
In the next 3 to 5 years, I see my personal self. I want to kind of hand it off to somebody and let them run the surgical side, and I just handle the distribution. But where I see my business, I want to be the number one provider in the Midwest. So I don't in the Central Standard Time is the best way to put it. I'm going to be the number one. I want to be the person they call
Okay.
for their hair loss solutions.
And is there a reason why we're looking at Central Standard only?
Travel. So I've traveled a lot. So I just kind of uh,
You don't want to be off.
probably I want to stay off of the coast. So I put it this way: with my competitions are on each coast. So I'm kind of the people you want to call in the Midwest in this area, in the mountain times. But on the East and West Coast, that's where my competition is. They
Right.
don't.
There'll be a higher volume of people offering similar,
Yes,
maybe not both, but similar things. Okay. And so, what's your approach to goal setting? Like, do you set up goals every year?
I set up
Every
goals
quarter?
daily. so, um, so my goals daily. I wake up, and the first thing I do is my goal is to make my wife and I a cup of coffee. That's always my first goal. And after that, I sit and I'll do my goal setting, whether I'm writing it down or sometimes it's in my head. But I set my goal of, if I'm not doing surgery, then my goal is to get 5 appointments secured for distribution. Um, I tend to take Fridays off work a little bit, just because most people are closed and they're real busy gearing up for the weekend and they can't take phone calls. But so if distribution days, five appointments set. If I get sick, I've achieved above my goals. So
Love it. Love it. It really is important to build a consistency in the things that you do. I've been exploring the idea that, in order for you to be extraordinary, the ordinary has to happen first,
yes,
right?
exactly, exactly. So that's
All
that's
right.
that's that's my daily goals. I also have my weekly goals fall along with the lines of my daily goals. My weekly goals are to have um, 7 to 10 appointments a week for this distribution. As far as surgery goes, the goals on surgery. I want to sign up 10 surgeries a month. So that's the goal there. Now on surgery days, my goal is not to sit in traffic. So I tend
Yeah.
to start. I'll start at 7 a.m. and be done by 2, 3 o'clock, just to try to miss traffic. So
Now, if I'm not mistaken, you're in North Texas.
I am in North Texas, but I travel all over to do this. So
All right. And so, what are the major places that you go to for these right now?
well, I go to Shreveport quite a bit. I'll be in Shreveport next week. I work in Fort Worth, Denver, St. Louis. Um, I got a Kansas City person coming. I go to Houston quite a bit, Baton Rouge, Indiana, Minnesota. I go all over the place.
Oh, that's
So
amazing. Very good, Rowdy. So you're racking up those miles, those
I
airline
do.
miles, huh?
I do. We're all going to Alaska to see the Northern Lights this spring. So thank
See,
you,
that's a
American
goal.
Airlines.
That's a goal right there.
Yeah. So thank you, American Airlines. So,
All right. Well done. And so, we have covered a lot of ground in this conversation. And for those people who are watching, I highly encourage you to save these and come back for an additional watch. There's a lot of great nuggets here, and you never know who you can actually impact by sharing some of this information with them. Um, so as we begin to wrap up, I have a few rapid fire questions, quick, head answers to it. You ready?
yep, I'm ready.
All right. What is the key to success for you?
Hustle. You just got to hustle. You got to work. So
What is one piece of advice for other business owners?
stick with it. Don't give up. Find the niche. Find the one thing that sets you apart from your competitors.
What is one book that you're reading now or have read more recently?
Well, it's the Bible daily. I read that daily. I just finished Zig Ziglar, his lecture tour, um, a purpose-driven life, and then sales EQ.
Wow. So all of that related to actually getting more impact on what you
Yes,
do on a regular basis. I love that.
yes. Don't. I got a baby, so the Fox and Socks is up in there too.
All right. So if you had to choose only one area of your business that you could improve tomorrow, like you have magic wand and just get it done, what would that be?
The distribution side, educating the physicians and patients, doctors and patients on the treatments for hair loss. And like I said, hair loss is an option now. It's not a given. So if you want hair, you can keep your hair.
I may need to come and see you.
No, you
Anyway,
look good. I already looked at you. You look good. So
so before we get to the final question of the day, how can other people learn more about your company? How can they get in touch with you guys?
they can find me on LinkedIn. I also have a website, hairrestorationsolutions.com. Uh, and my phone number and everything, if they're interested, is on my LinkedIn website. They can contact me that way. I prefer phone calls. I'm a talker too, so I prefer talking.
Very good, Rowdy. Well, look, we will put it on the video links on the description so that people can make contact with you right away. So, last question of the day. What is it that you find most inspiring today?
The most inspiring today, I find. I mean, with this conversation, is that what you're asking me? Sorry.
No, with whatever is happening in your world.
Oh, with whatever's happening, um, the most inspiring today is what inspires me the most is my wife. So my wife is probably the one you should be interviewing, honestly. So she's my rock. She she'll tell me whenever I don't sound good. She'll tell me when I sound good. She's got it together. So
It is said that great men have great women next to them, not behind them.
that's
That's
right.
what it sounds like. And
So
she's probably going to look at this and say, "Yeah, you did good."
yeah, yeah. It's funny. She'll hear me on the phone sometimes and say, "Hang up the phone. You sound like an idiot." So
Oh, okay. So thank you, Rowdy, for joining us today in this podcast. Thank you to the audience for watching and sharing. Again, you might never know who you will make an impact with, just by sharing some of these things that you learned today. Make it a great day. Until next time.